Maybe they're scared that somebody won't believe them, or they're scared that they'll become an outcast because of it.
They're scared and they don't want the other person to come after them, and they don't want to lose that other person.
They have feelings for that person. They don't want to get them in trouble. Some people blame themselves. Some people just don't want to lose that person because they're so lovesick about them.
They're scared they're gonna get abused again. It's not something you really want to bring out in the public if you love someone.
They don't want to be embarrassed that their spouse is abusing them at all.
They do still care about their partner, so they're scared of the consequence of them. Humiliation is a factor.
I guess because they're scared.
They are scared of what might happen to them or their family.
First of all, most likely the dude probably knows where the girl live at. I mean, they probably scared. They just want to leave it at that. They don't want to get the cops involved.
Mostly because if they tell somebody, they're afraid that the person, victim, who's really abusing them is gonna come after them, and it may be even worse the next time.
Sometimes I guess it's seen as a normal to report abuse, and also some people don't like to draw attention to themselves when they feel like they can handle it. So that's why they're reluctant to talk about it, or they're just afraid to talk about it because they're afraid that the person who is hurting them will hurt them more if somebody else finds out about it.
Probably because the other person has so much control over them that they just don't want to, they're just too scared to report it.
Aileen wishes people would be less ashamed to report abuse.
Next, she tells us that in her own experience, by keeping the abuse from her family, she ended up pushing them away.
To this day, she is still working on building that relationship back up.
I didn't tell my family. The way my family found out was, it was my birthday, and we went out with friends to celebrate. He was mad at me. I don't know why. He just walked over to me and he pulled my hair in the place where we were. The security came, escorted him out. One of the security guards there knew him, and so they thought that even though their job is to secure me, that I should go out because he was waiting for me. And my friends were like, no, you're not going out there. We waited long enough, hoping he had left. We dropped my roommate off. I told her because I knew his habits. We're not gonna come to a full stop, but you need to just jump out and leave because he's gonna be around there and he might follow us. I was gonna sleep at my friend's house in Yonkers. Halfway to Yonkers, my cousin is like, I see him. And he was calling, telling her to pull over, and he was telling me to tell her to slow down and for me to get out of the car. And I didn't want to get out of the car because I knew what it was gonna lead up to. She was going really fast, and it was raining. And she tried to act like she was going straight, and she turned last minute, and we crashed straight into a pole. By the sound of the screeching and the crash, he heard where we were, and he found us. And by the time he got there, she was out. My leg was stuck in the car. I couldn't get out. He started screaming at her and cursing at her. And I remember thinking, oh my God, he's gonna hit her. And I was so afraid that I don't know with what strength I managed to pull my leg out and jump out the car. She called her parents, and her parents are friends of my parents. So we had to tell them we got in an accident because my boyfriend chased us because he was abusive. I wish people would be less ashamed to tell people when they're going through things, because you push a lot of people away trying to keep that secret because it's not something you're proud of. To this day, I'm still working on a relationship with my family because I really pushed them away throughout that time. It was 4 years. It was 4 years.
Like I said, we need to find that relationship with God, and then also we need to find that relationship with ourselves, and we need to learn to love ourselves, because once we love ourselves, we won't be scared and we won't be afraid and embarrassed to go out and tell someone that we're close to or the police about the abuse that's going on.
Go to a friend, go to a family member, a parent. I mean, it's going to be hard to talk about something like that, but it's worth it because they're people that love you and they're going to help you.
Yeah, and in the aftermath, definitely getting help, whether it be spiritual help or therapeutic help. That's a lot of psychological damage, whether it be both physical and psychological. And recovering from that could take a while, and especially heal the wounds in your heart and in your mentality.
Taking the strength that you had to foster to tell someone is always going to be there with you, just like your faith, just like God, just like your spiritual life is always going to be with you. What you take and what you learn from the past experiences and your past relationships can only help you in the future.
You're always going to take with you, that self-confidence, and although there may be things that may steer you away from relationships in the future, you seem to have that strength that you can persevere through it.
If someone comes to you with this problem, or you see your friends going through this, being gentle with how you approach it or what they say or how you maybe suggest to them that they should seek help or talk about it or work through it or something. That's really important.
I totally agree. Being very gentle is definitely the key, because when someone's in a relationship with them, they're going to trust them. And even if they're your friend, they might trust their partner more. And so what you're saying might actually offend them. If they do kind of open up to you, make sure you ease them towards help.
If we love ourselves, why should we hide the fact that someone's hitting us?
You're right. I mean, because we were created in the image and likeness of God, and we have to acknowledge that, yeah, we are important and we deserve to be treated with respect. And if someone's not treating us that way, then we need to tell them or tell someone else about it.
And if we are afraid, one thing we need to do is pray for strength to be able to go out and tell someone that, oh, this person's hitting me.
And I think that if someone doesn't look for help or doesn't seek help when they're in an abusive relationship, I think if someone recognizes that they're in like this bad situation, they need to step in and, stand up for the person if they can't stand up for themselves.
Counseling and therapy will most likely be needed to help those who suffer serious abuse, but faith and prayer can also be a great source of comfort and support in any case.
Next, we asked the teens on the street how they thought prayer and faith can help victims of dating violence.
I don't really follow religion. I mean, I believe in God and all, but I mean, if you're with someone, you're supposed to love them. You're supposed to make them feel good, not bad.
If you love someone, just treat them how you want to be treated.
You should be loyal, faithful.
It should be an equal partnership.
I think we should respect everyone and treat everyone like the way that they should be treated.
There should be mutual respect, and you should always treat your other as you would want to be treated.
I always treat people with the same respect I'd like to be treated, and if someone is disrespecting me or calling me names, then it's not okay.
Treat a person how you want to be treated. Like if you shouldn't hit on or physically or verbally abuse anybody. Everything can be worked out through a great conversation.
And if you're gonna hit someone, then that's not okay, and something should be done about it.
My faith, it basically teaches me to be loyal to one woman. I mean, treat her right. It's a woman out there for every man, so there's no need to keep going around with all the different women. Just find one woman and take care of her, make sure she's all right.
Just how to actually treat someone nicely and with respect.
Well, I'm Catholic, so you're supposed to respect each other till death do you part in terms of marriage.
How can someone's faith or prayer help someone who is caught in an abusive relationship?
Maybe it would get them to tell someone about it and not keep it a secret.
I don't know if I believe in God, but I believe in hope. So if you're praying, it's kind of like whether you know what you're praying to or whether what you're praying to is real, it's kind of like a positive influence. Praying is always good.
Somebody's, beliefs in God can help them overcome pretty much anything, So if you're in a bad spot, I guess you can look to God as giving you guidance, someone to look over your shoulder and say, somebody cares about me, you know what I mean? And I know that this is wrong. God's telling me right now, this isn't where I should be. I should move on.
It gives you somewhere to turn to and someone to look up to.
God really answers all prayers in a certain way. He makes miracles happen in many different ways. So it may not come right away, but he's going to help you sooner or later.
If you don't have faith, then you'll fall into a depression and stuff like that. So it's just really important to have.
You can always talk to him, so that can help if you need somebody to talk to.
If you know your faith and you know that you're supposed to be respected and this person is supposed to be respecting you, then you know that you are in a bad relationship and you need to get out of there. So 1, of course, pray, and 2, get help, and don't be afraid to tell people.
We are reminded that God is always there for us. When we read from Psalm 28, "The Lord is my strength and my shield,
in whom my heart trusted and found help.
So my heart rejoices.
With my song I praise my God."
Aileen did turn to God and to her faith community for strength and support.
Next, she'll tell us how her healing has taken time, but she can now appreciate how far she's come.
She also talks about the power of prayer and how it helped her to be strong during the initial breakup.
I invited him to a church event once. He never stepped inside. He was just outside watching me the whole time. As people came up to greet me and give me hugs, he got really upset, and he just came up to me and he grabbed my face, kind of shook me and told me that it was hard for him to watch other people show me love when he loved me so much. He basically excused himself and he left. At that moment I realized I want to help him, but I'm hurting myself, and God doesn't want that for me. I left it at the cross, and he wants to rid me of that. So I can't keep putting myself in these situations. And I just had to completely let it go. It's been a healing process that God has been taking me through, and I'm grateful for every moment. I can look back and appreciate how far I've come and how much God's grace has worked in me. To know that every day I struggle less, and every day I wake up and His mercy just pours upon me, and my confidence is at a higher place than it's ever been, and my heart is open and it's ready to love. My faith helped me get through this tremendously. I don't know any other way where someone can get away from the situation without some sort of understanding that there's someone there by your side, and who better than God Himself. God gave me strength to not pick up the phone. I had to pray every day. Through prayer and through asking God for strength and the Holy Spirit to guide me and to do God's will and not my own, it's the only thing that gave me the strength to stay away. Before that, it was just constantly going back and going back and going back. It's just constant prayer and faith that God is with you and God is love and abuse is not love, so you need to stay away from it. The Catholic faith teaches a lot about respect between couples, and especially in marriage. It's a partnership, and there has to be respect amongst each other. One of the commandments is to love your brother. Abuse isn't a way to love your brother.
Yeah, you know, God never gives us anything that we can't handle. He knows all the potential that's inside us. So we just need to ask Him for strength to get through those struggles that we have.
If someone ever raises their hand to you, you need to raise your voice to someone else. And even if you're not strong in your faith, you need to know that there's love somewhere there for you. If you suffer from domestic violence anywhere, in any aspect of your life, someone loves you.
Dating violence is real and it's serious.
And true love is never abusive.
The Catechism of the Catholic Church teaches that abuse does injury to justice and charity.
It is a sin against each other and against the larger community because it diminishes the dignity of other people.
Share the facts about dating violence and educate your friends on the topic.
Be aware of the red flags that are precursors to dating violence.
And don't be afraid to intercede with a friend who you think may be a victim.
You never know when your show of concern and love can help someone who is being abused.
If you or a friend is a victim of dating violence, get help from a trusted adult, counselor, or law enforcement officer.
For immediate help, contact the National Teen Dating Abuse Helpline at 1-866-331-9474 or go to loveisrespect.org.
And don't forget to stay in touch with us at RealfaithTV.com.
Or follow us on Twitter.
Finally, we know that abuse is not love.
And we are reminded in 1 Corinthians what love really is.
Love is patient, love is kind.
Love is not jealous.
It is not pompous, it is not inflated.
Love is not rude. It does not seek its own interests.
Love is not quick-tempered and does not brood over injury.
Love does not rejoice over a wrongdoing, but it rejoices with the truth.
Love bears all things,
believes all things,
hopes all things,
and endures all things.
So be sure to recognize what love is and isn't when you're dating.
So that when or if the time comes when you are ready to marry,
you will be able to find a spouse who truly loves and respects you.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time on Real Faith TV.
God bless.